Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1649. Happy Friday. It's Friday, right? It's Friday, December 19th already. Holy shit. Next Saturday, Madison Card Show. I've got to work on that. We've got some more live sales this weekend, tonight, tomorrow night, Sunday night. That's the surprise that we're going to talk about live selling this morning. The downside of live selling. Hey, we celebrate our wins. Now it's time to celebrate the losses. Now, I say that tongue in cheek, and I'll explain further about why I'm bloodied this morning from last night's live sale. What's going on? My wife had her party last night. It was initially it started with like 50 women. And then I think then the semifinal count was like 40, but then we had some nasty weather come in. I don't think it ended up doing anything, but it was like 44 degrees and raining at this time yesterday. By the end of the day, it was like 20 degrees, 25 degrees. And it just got colder. I think we had like 10 below wind chills this morning. So we had obviously that rain melts, or the rain melts the snow, creates more liquid, and then that freezes. But we didn't have any issues that I'm aware of, at least. But there were some ladies from out of town that didn't come. So there were still a lot of women in the house, but it wasn't it wasn't like I could barely hear them upstairs while I was doing my live. And then there was leftover. So I had like a 10 o'clock late. I had a fourth meal last night. I had my wife had some salmon before a couple of the ladies were over, and so I just took my wife's like, you can eat upstairs, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll go downstairs. So I had I was good though. I just had a salad and then maybe like a cheese and cracker or something. So I'll look forward to snacking all day. Tis the season for snacking. What else is going on? So we got the Madison Card Show next Saturday, December 27th. I am preparing. I've got to write this shit down. I need to send out. We're using Treasure for the first time, so I'm learning some things. Going to learn some things communication wise. We're going to send that through Treasure, which is, eventually we'll cut the need for my Constant Contact, which is a bitch to use. I don't know if anybody uses Constant Contact. Ugh, fuck that. It's a pain. It does not make my life easier. So I'll use Treasure for that. Hopefully it does make my life easier. So we're going to get the instructions out just for, there's some first time dealers at the Alliance show. So we'll get that information sent out. I'm going to next week release tables to rebook. Since it's already boom, we're doing another Alliance show in January, and it's not the last weekend, it's the third weekend. So we've got even a smaller window of time. So I got to get those tables to rebook. So any non-rebooked can get booked ahead of the show. So those will go on sale. There is going to be an increase. It's going to be $100 per table. That includes the cost of living raise plus parking passes. Parking passes were not budgeted into this year's table costs. That was a little surprise that 2 months in was realized. So the parking passes are going up next year as well, $10 per parking pass. So we're doing $100. And then I need to, if you bought 4 tables, you get 4 parking passes. Are you going to use 4 parking passes or not? There's going to be a drop down or something where you say, well, I only need 1 parking pass. I need 4 parking passes just to make things easier. Hotel show, which we won't have a hotel show until March. We're knocking out that third room, and we're going to do just the 2 ballrooms. So we're cutting tables. We're increasing prices. There's also an increase at the hotel, which has been every year. It's going to be $75 a table at the hotel. You're going to have a 20 table less competition. So there you go. So those are the new table rates for 2026. So I'm going to get that announcement. what else? So Madison Card Show is next weekend. Tomorrow, I'm going to go to Waukesha, the card show in Waukesha. I think this is his second show. I think his first show was in November, and Sean is actually a vendor. He's been a vendor of mine for a couple of years now. He started the show. He does a really good job. I've seen some of his marketing and promotions. He's got a great website. So he's doing a good job. I'm going to check that out. I love that he has the dealer list that I can see. It's like, oh, okay, I'm familiar with those dealers, so I know. And then if there's any other dealers that I'm not familiar with, maybe I'll find some other stuff. So I'm looking forward to checking that show out. New show for me. I kind of going to different shows is now more exciting. Like I usually, because Rockford has their card show tomorrow too. Usually I just go, I'm going to go to Rockford because I'm familiar with it. But now I'm familiar. It's been 5 years of seeing those vendors. And while, yes, I get great deals from the vendors, it's nice to branch out and see different stuff. So I went to Pewaukee. Pewaukee was kind of a letdown. I probably won't go back to that show. But I'm glad I went just to see what they had. And I got some good deals there. Not like I didn't, but there just wasn't much for me. And I know at least with some of the dealers that are in Waukesha on the dealer list tomorrow, I do know that I kind of know what I'm walking into. So with what I pick up tomorrow, I'll be auctioning off tomorrow night. Tonight's live stream will be a mix. I've got more Topps Chrome still. That's both good and bad. I've got a few slabs. I've got just a mishmash. So tonight's going to be kind of a mishmash. So before I start talking about the downside of live selling, I want to talk about Topps Chrome basketball, which is also the topic of the downside of live selling. But I want to come at this from a standpoint first of the actual product. And I was excited. Like I was excited when Topps basketball came out, last month or whenever it was. And I bought a bunch of blasters and I had fun. I enjoyed it. Even though I don't really watch the NBA, I'm getting more and more into it. And especially doing, this is one of the perks of live selling. Like it trains me, like live selling trains me on the market. Like when you're static selling, and I'm not shitting on static selling because I think I need to do a better job at putting some listings in my store just to attract, especially on eBay, because you take a look at the difference on platforms. There's nobody on eBay Live. It's shocking that I do as well as I do on eBay Live based on the numbers, based on the sheer amount of viewers, the lack thereof. But I had like 3 different thoughts and now I can't remember a single one. But on Topps basketball, training. It's so live selling completely trains me. When in static selling, you kind of have an idea, like you have an idea of what's selling based on what you have in your store. If you have 20 Aristides, or 45 in my case, 45 Aristides Aquinos, and all of a sudden people are starting to buy Aristides Aquino. It's like, oh, what happened? And it's like, oh, I need to find more Aristides Aquino. But that's not the case for 10 other guys that are hot right now. Who's somebody that's I'm trying to think of somebody that I've learned here recently that it's like, wow, I'm getting a lot of Mattis Buzelis. Like I get a ton of requests for Mattis Buzelis. I would never know that. I wouldn't go out and source because I don't really buy basketball. I'm not sourcing basketball. I didn't know the market for Messi and Ronaldo. I don't know soccer. Like I know they're really good, but if I found a Ronaldo or a Messi, I'd put it in a quarter box unless it's shiny. And then it's like, oh, I'll probably put this on, buy it now. So that's one of the really good things about live selling is it teaches you the market about things you don't know, which buy it now listings cannot do that. You can't learn from buy it now unless you're going through and studying sold listings, which who has the time for that? So that's the one good thing about it. One of many, I should say. So I want to take this back to Topps. And so that's kind of what wanted to talk about that because even though I don't know the market of NBA, like I'm starting to learn because I'm live selling. So I'm starting to learn, oh, people want to buy Matas Bucelis cards. So bought the Topps. I loved it. Loved ripping it. It was fun. Didn't really care if I made money or not. Now, Topps Chrome Basketball, it's like, man, Topps Chrome Basketball is going to be hot. And I started to get, maybe I started to second guess myself when I started to see the sheer amount of Topps Chrome. Now, I knew that Topps Chrome was going to be massively produced, much less than regular Topps. But I started seeing, it's like, I bet you can even get secondary, boxes. You can probably make double your money on the secondary market on a case on eBay. And I don't know. I'm curious. Topps Chrome. Let's just see eBay. Topps Chrome. And I'm going to do Topps Chrome Mega Box case. And I think you can still get them for like right now, like one sold yesterday on eBay, $1,900. I paid $1,700 on pre-order. So you weren't buying these to flip. That's $1,900 minus your fees and shipping. You just lost money. So that was one of my concerns as we got closer to release date, and I'm seeing the eBay listings, and it's like, okay, if the sealed wax after pre-order has not spiked, this might be tough. So, but I still, and here's the thing, I want to erase for a moment last night's auction. I'm going to get through this thought. I'm going to get to the chat, and then we'll talk about the downside of live selling. So, and now I lost my train of thought. I've got so many thoughts whirling through my head. I should have wrote this stuff down. So I want to come at this from a non-live selling or just selling, a non-selling in general. I bought a case of mega boxes, and I ripped all 20 boxes, and it was fun. Like, it was a lot of fun. And I will tell you that regardless of what I did, how much I made last night, what I pulled, I enjoyed it, and I felt like I got my money's worth. I paid $1,700 for that case, and I felt like I was ahead, and I'm going to come out ahead. By the way, I say that I got beaten up and all that. I'm going to end up making a decent amount, not as much as I expected, but. And even with the case, I didn't expect the case hit. I'll get into all that, but I felt like from a collecting, and this is flipping, but if I was a collector, I felt really good. It kind of reminds me of Panini Chronicles or Score, like 1989 Score baseball, man. I loved 89 Score baseball. And I felt like every time I opened a pack, you feel like you're getting, do I have a pack? Well, damn. I have like 6 boxes of 89 Score, and I can't find a single pack. But anyway, 89 Score, if I opened a pack right now, I'd probably feel like, based on 89 Score prices, I would feel like I got a good deal on that. Panini Chronicles, man, you pull color, and yeah, the secondary market's not good, but you feel it's like manufactured scarcity. I don't know, but you feel like you're getting a good deal. And I felt that with Topps Chrome. Like I opened and it's like, oh, wow. Now, part of that was, I pulled an entire, out of a 4-row box, I pulled an entire row of refractors. An entire row. I pulled color. I only pulled one autograph out of 20 boxes, mega boxes, which I knew that. Like one was, if you put an over under on how many autos are you going to pull in 20 boxes, I thought it might have been, I would have set the line at like 1.5, like probably 2, maybe 1 every 10 boxes. I didn't look at the odds. And maybe the odds are longer than that. Maybe it's 1 autograph per box. Or per case. I don't know. But I felt, and I still do, and I haven't even looked at the secondary prices, but I would feel like I walked away from opening my case like I won. And I think that's the most important part when you're, when a company's selling product and people are ripping, like, do you feel like you got a good deal? And yeah, prices are crazy. People are like, oh, $50 for a blaster box, $85 for a mega box, whatever the price is for hobby and jumbo. But for me, I felt like I won. And that's important. Now let's go to the chat and let's talk about the bloodshed that was the blood that was shed last night. Gundy's in the house. Good morning. Happy Friday. David, what's going on? Good morning. GWRBI, good morning. By the way, thank you for offering such reasonable shipping costs on eBay Live. Hey, you are welcome. Shipping on my eBay live stream, 99 cents for the first auction. You win 25 cents for each additional. That includes slabs, hobby boxes. Sometimes I auction off an entire box. So I just charge, it's easy that way. And I like easy. Jody, what's going on? Good morning. I was watching last night. Boy, you got killed. It was tough. I wouldn't say, I kind of got killed. Gopher Wireless. Good morning. Minnesota in the house. Mark is here. What's going on? Cody's here. What's going on? Good morning. Merle. Good morning from Minnesota. Another one. Good. Oh, that's Merle. Gopher Wireless is Merle also. From my card account. There you go. Sunflower says, I got worried about your auction when I saw the retail prices. Topps Chrome seems so overpriced for the amount they are going to release. That's part of it. They are going to release a ton. And we've already seen it based on, you can basically get a case at pre-order prices, which is not common anymore. Tiger727 says, hello, everyone. Hope everyone is well. Every time I see somebody that types in hello, everybody, I think of Christmas Vacation, probably because I had it on again last night. I watch it 50 times every Christmas season. Hello, everybody. We got a bot in the house. Did you rip the case? I did. I ripped every damn box, and I loved every minute of it. Gem City says, Bo adapts and evolves. Failure is a part of it. That's a good point. You live and learn. And I thought part of the failure last night, my Topps break was a big shit fest. However, I also ripped that. It was a pop-up show. It was at like 4:00, which is the worst time on eBay Live. And I just thought it's like, yeah. And plus it's paper, it's like, who's going to want some of this stuff? I did okay. And fortunately I had some hits. I made my money on those. I made my money on the autograph I pulled. I'm going to make my money back, not all my money back on the Cooper Flag case hit, but I'm going to make a good amount on the Cooper Flag. Somebody offered me $75 this morning. Oh wait, no. That was actually the refractor, which I'll probably take. I don't know. Have I received any off? My phone's dead. It's charging upstairs. Here's the funny thing, Sunflower. I don't know if you were still in the room last night when I just ended it. I had 50 auctions left. I'm like, let's just go. I'm done with this. When I shut it off, my phone battery, because I forgot to plug my phone in, was at 1%. So it would have been shut down probably within one more auction anyway. And at that point, I would have been like, my phone's dead. I'm done. The way things were going. All right, where am I Do I have any? All right, I do have some offers. I've got an offer on that Derek Queen. There were tough comps on that. I've got a $300 offer on the gold wave refractor. I'm going to wait to see eligible to send offers. I think those are the only two offers I have. So yeah, I have two offers on the Cooper Flag. So I have a $300 offer on the Derek Queen Gold Wave, which I think is a solid offer, but I've got to look. I've got an $82 offer on the Cooper Flag refractor, so I'll probably end up taking that. So full disclosure, I did about 800 last night on eBay Live. If I take the $300 offer and the $82 offer, that's $382. That's 11. That's almost 1,200. And I still have that case hit Cooper Flag. Plus, I still have I have the Walter Clayton Blue Wave refractor out of 150. I've got to get that. I don't think I listed that. I got a Wemby refractor that's been selling on. Oh, that's just a regular chrome. I'll just auction that tonight. Here, I got a silver refractor Wemby, $25-$30. I've got a Derek Queen X-Fractor rookie. I don't know what those are going for. I've got a Donovan Mitchell blue out of 150 still. I've got an Ace Bailey Activators rookie. I've got a Kawhi Leonard Aqua Wave out of 199. A Keldon Johnson Yellow Wave out of 275. I got a Dylan Harper X-Fractor rookie still. And then I've still got a few team lots. I've got a ton of X-Fractors and regular refractors. So I'm going to end up making money. So, but part of that is because I got lucky. Kind of like the Allen and Ginter. I got lucky in two ways with the Allen and Ginter release day break. Let's see. Gem City says the one flag you pulled will cover that. It'll cover hopefully all of it. I don't know. What's the Cooper Flag? So there's one at auction right now. And it's almost like, and I think a lot of people are probably watching that auction to see where it settles. Because right now there's 3 buy it nows. Oh, wait. Oh, there's quite a few more now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 total buy it nows. One of them's mine. I think I'm the cheapest of the buy it. Nope. Somebody undercut me. So there's one listed at $4,000, one listed at $39.99, one listed, mine's at $4,400 and $4,500. So it's kind of a race to the bottom because I think the person that just reset his price to $39.99, it says new low price. So I think he. All right, we're gonna race to the bottom. I'm gonna oh no, I can't do it from that screen. All right, so there's one at auction right now with 3 days left. It's at $407. I think. Realistically, I think it's probably going to settle in the $1,000 to $1,500 range. That's kind of where I'm thinking it goes. So maybe I'll reset my price to $3,000 because I haven't. It's been 12 hours. It's been mine has been up for 12 hours, and I haven't had a single offer yet. So that tells me I'm way overpriced. If you've got a hot card on release day and you don't have an offer within 12 hours, it's pricing. So you got to drop that price. So that's what I'll do. We're going to race to the bottom. And it's not, and this is what I hate the term. I don't hate it. But I think I think race to the bottom is misused so much because in this case, it's not a race to the bottom because nothing's selling. Like none of these have sold. So we're not racing to the bottom because we're just massively overpriced right now. Now, if a bunch of them had sold and we're undercutting, if one had sold for $5,000 and now it's like $4,900, $4,800, $4,500, $39,000, that's a race to the bottom. None have sold. Once one sells and you start undercutting, then we can call it a race to the bottom. Red lights in the house. Good morning from the Crane. What's going on? Max says nothing should ever be $50 a blaster, at least in my lifetime. $50 is a bit much. I agree. I think 50, and I don't even know how many cards do you get? I'm sure it's probably like 25 cards. It's probably $2 a card. I don't think it's too far off, really. I think a nice $40. I don't know, but people are going to buy it. They're going to make, and if you see some on the shelf, because they're going to print a ton of it, that doesn't mean Topps is losing money. I think, and that's another misconception people have. Well, nobody's buying it. Oh, there's plenty of people buying it. They just made a shit ton of it. I mean, look at 1989 Topps. Look at all the 1989 Topps out there. You can find it anywhere. Doesn't mean Topps lost money on it. They just printed it to the moon. So people are still going to buy it. A lot of people won't buy it at $50 a blaster. Here's the thing. When I'm opening my mega boxes yesterday afternoon, I'm like, I'm feeling, I got a good deal on this. $85 for a mega box. And I'm like, damn, I want to go to GameStop and go buy some more. I might. Who knows? I might go buy some blasters at $50 a box. I had fun. But I probably won't, because it would probably not be a wise move. Where are we at? Red Light says, did you sell the big card? Not yet. I was not willing to put it on live last night. We just didn't have an audience. This is a frustrating part, a downside to live selling. And this is, for me, it's trying to figure out how to market my stream. Like, how do I promote my stream to the right people? And yesterday, I was working on a very short, I have some big cards that I want to promote this, but how do I get this in 2 hours time? How do I get this promoted in 2 hours? Hey, we're going to run this tonight and get people in the room. Like, it's just, I don't know if anybody has any, I'm pumping it on Instagram. There's not enough time to run an ad. Try to find as much as possible. It's just, it's very difficult. So that's one of the downsides that I find is, how can I market? How do I get more people in the room? And I love that people stuck around. I was bitching at the end. I love how people stuck around. And, I was selling like X-Fractors for like I was selling commons for $2, but again, like that's the retail price. Like, I'm taking a loss every $2 sale. I'm taking a loss. I'm selling lots at 50 cents a card or 25 cents a card. I'm taking a big loss on those. Now, when you're breaking it down on a per card, yeah, the Keldon Johnson base card is it worth $2? No, because you're going to make it up for it for a Cooper Flagg rookie or an Ace Bailey rookie or a Dylan Harper rookie or a LeBron or whatever. But then when I had like a Giannis X-Fractor sell for like $3 or $2, it's like, oh. I think the toughest part for me was I was expecting different results. And again, that's completely a mindset on me. I mean, you have to have that confidence. If you don't have confidence, what do you have? And sometimes it hurts you in the end. But I really thought it was going to be a better turnout. I thought I'd have more viewers. For the first time in, I don't know when, my viewership declined as the night went on. I think I had the most viewers in the 7:00 hour, which is usually my worst time. Like, especially when I go on at 7, like that first hour is brutal at 7:00. That's why I start going at 8 most nights. That 7:00 hour, and that was the best hour. And it's like, are you going to run the Cooper Flagg? It's like, I'll run it in the 8:00 hour because I only had 30 people in the room. And it's like, and then I got up to like, I think maybe the most I had in the room was like 36, 37, maybe. I never hit 40, I don't think. Maybe I did. But it's like, I got to hit 50 people before I think about running it. And at that point, the way things were selling, I'm selling X-Fractors of superstars and future Hall of Famers for $2-3. I can't start that thing at $1. It's going to sell for $100. 300. So I think the disappointment for me was I had unrealistic expectations. And that's the way it is. And sometimes you have to have that. Well, you don't have to have that because it'll burn you in some cases. You can't have unrealistic expectations on every show, or you're going to get burned and you're not going to have fun doing it. But I really did think it was going to go better than it did on some of this stuff. With that said, I'm still going to make money, but I'm going to have to do it through Buy It Now as opposed to the live sales. All right, let's go back to the chat because I'm starting to forget my thoughts again. Mark says, I was like, he's out. You were trying to get out of the stream. I was. And it was like, I wasn't having fun. And if I'm not having fun, the chat's not having fun. Although some people were probably having fun getting good deals. But it's like, I'm just like, all right, we're going to run Maxime Reynaud. X Fractor. Go. $2. All right, next. Tristan Da Silva. Next. Keldon Johnson. Next. You stream from your phone still. I do. It's actually recommended for eBay Live. That's how they recommend streaming. Sunflower says, I bought a mega box worth. Yeah, thank you. Gem City says, if you look at his other case hits from Flagship, this shouldn't do less than 2K. Interesting. Well, I hope that's the case. I haven't really looked into it as much because I was strapped for time. I didn't get everything ripped and cleaned up and sorted until a little after 5 o'clock last night, and then I went on at 7. So I was really strapped for time, and then after the auction last night, I didn't even want to. I was done. I was done with cards. So I'll do a little looking. I don't have much. I mean, hey, the upside of live selling, this is going to be really easy to ship. I'll get that hammered out in probably an hour because like Sunflower bought a ton of stuff. That's one shipment. So I'll just have to alphabetize and poof. Orlando's in the house. Good morning. Tracy's here. What's the countdown? There it is. Happy Friday and last day of school. Nice. Florida baseball card dude in the house. Good morning. Orlando says Topps will never lose money. Printing cards is like printing money. That's the truth. That's the truth. And I think that's a big misconception people have when they see retail on the shelves. It's like, nobody's buying it. They're just losing money. Oh, no. Oh, no, they're not. Dat Dude says, I remember when people thought the same thing about 89 Upper Deck costing $1 a pack. I actually mentioned that on Twitter at some point yesterday. Somebody was saying like, and I'm sure it was in regards to Topps Chrome basketball. It's like, I remember buying packs for 99 cents. It's like, man, I remember when 99 cents a pack was absolutely ridiculous back in 1989 because Topps, I think 89 Topps was 35, maybe 40 cents. I think they would do deals like for 3 for $1 on 89 Topps. And all of a sudden Upper Deck comes along and $1 a pack. It's like, oh my God, this is crazy. People ate it up. And then we saw Action Packed at like $2.50 a pack. And then we had Flair at like $5 a pack. And then we were off to the races. Jody says, if you compare it to Prism, Chrome basketball is a good deal. That is very true. That is very true. People that aren't familiar with Panini basketball and football prices, this is a better deal. Gem City says, I pulled up the replay. I thought there was, yes. So there was, I ran a LeBron early in the show that only did like $2, maybe $3. But later on, I had somebody that requested LeBron, and I happened to have 2 people in the room that were looking for LeBron. And that was probably the only outlier. The Cooper flags did about market price, I think. Again, I looked at the Cooper flag prices before the stream, and I think they were going for like $40. I think my base Cooper flag went for 32. And then I had a insert that went for like 25 maybe. So Coopers are still going for 40. So the most recent sales, 40, 30 or 40 after shipping, 40 after shipping. So the Cooper base rookies are still going for $40. So I sold mine for like 32, which is okay. But usually in live selling, you sell at least at comps. And in a case like Cooper flag, like I bet in tonight's stream, If I had a Cooper flag, I have the two hits. I'm not going to run those on live. But if I had a base Cooper flag rookie and I ran it tonight with everything else, I bet it would sell for $60. That's the downside with, I had people coming in. Do you have any Ohtani? It's like, no, he's not on the checklist for 25 Topps Chrome basketball. I had some, do you have any Larry Bird rookies? No, we're doing Topps Chrome basketball. It's release day. And I think doing specific shows hurts live auctions. Now, it's worked out. Auctions. Vintage. I do really well on vintage nights. Early on, I did a couple 80s nights. Those did really well. Wrestling nights, not so much. I'll do better running some Hulk Hogan's in a random stream than if I do just a regular wrestling stream. Wrestling we've got to make it more niche. Run it with Royal Rumble, run it with WrestleMania, run it with Survivor Series. I did the Cubs only auction, and that was a complete disaster. What else have I done? Topps Chrome didn't do well last night. Allen and Ginter did. Baseball is king. So there's some like I'll do a Topps Baseball Series 1 release. There's probably some other products that I'll do a release. Let's see where we at. Mark says, use your scanner to scan the flag and put other key cards in the cover for the sheet and make it a guarantee to run tonight. Last night was weird. You had people breaking the product at the same time, plus other large live sellers were on. Yeah, Thursday nights are tough because they do Gem Mint Night, which is basically catered to like the $100 and up crowd. It gets viewers. The crazy thing about eBay Live is there's like I don't have my phone on me. If I can, I can't look. But I looked yesterday, and I think I did like around like 11 o'clock, and there was. But I like comparing numbers at various times. Like you can't just always compare 7 p.m. Central or 9 p.m. Central. But 11 o'clock yesterday morning, there were 130 across all sports singles channels, 130 viewers on eBay Live. So this is like when people say, well, you're one of the only sellers on eBay Live. Yeah, but look at the audience I have. It's we're basically fighting for 130 viewers on 8 streams or whatever, maybe 6 at that point yesterday. 130. I think it was 130. I can't remember. It was a low number. 130. Let's just call it that. I go over to Whatnot, over 9,000 viewers on Whatnot. There's still a giant chasm. Now, there were probably 5 or 6 live streams on eBay compared to maybe 500 on Whatnot. So yeah, you've got less competition on eBay Live, but you've got a fraction of the viewers. On Whatnot, you've got 10,000 viewers, but they're spread across 500 live streams. So you just gotta put your head down and fucking work. That's all you gotta do. Let's see. Where we at? Tracy says, for my budget, Chrome Prism packs are no longer an option, $50 a month, and it isn't worth the risk to buy even a blaster at that price. And absolutely, like that's fair. There's that doesn't mean it's overpriced. That doesn't mean it's wrong or bad. It's just this is, it's kind of like what's something that's a Range Rover, a fancy Range Rover. I drive a car. Everybody drive, well, not everybody, but most people have cars. Range Rover is not within most of our budgets. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that they're price gouging. Doesn't mean that it's bad for the car market without the D. Car without the D. Card. It's just not within, and that's okay. And that's okay. If I wanted a Range Rover, I'll just try to make more money and save up. And so I can afford that Range Rover. By the way, I don't want a Range Rover. I love my Ford Edge. I'm going to stick with my Ford Edge. So, and that's, there's cards for every budget. And that's the thing. Like, you can be a part of this sports card hobby at any price point you want. And it annoys me when on Twitter, it's like, this is crazy. It shouldn't be this much. It's like, there's other products. Like, you don't have to have, just because this week everybody's talking about Topps Chrome doesn't mean you have to have that product. There's plenty of other options. I mean, you can go into my eBay live stream like Sunflower did last night, and you can spend a mega box price on cards and get maybe even better than what ripping a mega box would be. I'm sure like a lot. I mean, you're getting like team sets and team lots at like 40, 50 cents a card. If you bought them in a mega box or a hobby box or whatever, you're paying $2 a card. And then you've got a bunch of stuff left over you don't want. So there's price points for everybody. And I don't think $50 a box for a blaster is crazy. Is it a little high? Maybe, but I mean, people are going to buy it, and Topps is a business. Like, they're going to like supply and demand. It's simple. We want to get the most out of our products that we sell. And sometimes those go higher than we expect, and sometimes they go lower. So last night, while I say I'm a little dramatic, overall, did I get killed? With what I ran, I didn't do well. I certainly didn't do well. I probably did a third of what I was expecting. Even without the Cooper, like I thought, like, and again, like I can't compare this to other, like every live stream's got to be its own separate entity. And just because I made $90 on a Yankees team lot on Allen and Ginter doesn't mean I'm going to make $90 on a New York Knicks team lot on Topps Chrome. I thought I'd get at least $2 a card though on a lot of this stuff. I didn't, and live and learn. Maybe it was timing. Maybe it's just people. There's just not a market for this. I don't know. So I'll take some of the, I've got the Cooper flags, and I've got the Walter. I'll put the Walter Clayton up at Buy It Now. I'll probably put some of the other stuff. The Wemby Silver I'll probably put on Buy It Now. And if some of the stuff doesn't sell, I'm going to keep the Cooper flag on Buy It Now. I'm not going to run that on live. But some of the other stuff, like the lower, like the Wemby Silver, the Dylan Harper X Fractor, if that doesn't sell today, I'll run it tonight on live. But some of the other stuff, like the Derek Queen, I'll probably end up taking an offer. I've got to do some research and see where things are going. Because another thing, the more of this stuff that gets ripped, yesterday was release day, the prices are going to come down. And so you want to be, and I definitely want to get that Cooper flag sold before that auction ends, because that auction's going to certainly set the market for now. Again, I'm confident it's a plus $1,000 card. Gem City thinks it's 2,000. I think it's probably 12 to 15, but I'm keeping an eye on those other ones. And I am going to drop my price just so I can get some offers coming in. Because right now, I don't think anybody's getting off. Somebody already dropped their price down to 4,000, and I think they were at 5,000. So, I think we're just way above what the market's willing to pay right now. Orlando says, just buy the cards you want cheaper than opening a box. Just won't get the hit. Amen to that. Did you see the Ohtani 1-of-1 gold logo, man, sold for $3 million? I did not see that. Wow. So yeah, sometimes, I celebrate. I come on here every morning and celebrate my my wins, which are far more than my losses. Last night was disappointing. It was brutal. At the end of the day, I'm still going to make money on my Topps Chrome basketball, but also because I got lucky. I got lucky with a Cooper flag case hit. If I didn't get that Cooper flag case hit, I'm going to be putting a lot more work into getting into the back in black. But with that card, that's going to be the cherry on top. That'll push me over. With Allen and Ginter, I got lucky in a couple of ways. One way, I pulled out of 4 boxes. I pulled 2 big hits. And secondly, I had a room that was overpaying for stuff. And that's That tends to happen. Milad in the house. What's going on? All right. So that's what I had for today. I'll be live tonight, 8 o'clock. I don't know if it's scheduled for 8 o'clock or not, but I'm going to go on at 8. If it's scheduled for 7, I'm going to push it back to 8. Actually, I'm going to look to see what the schedule is for other streamers. If there's not too many people going at 7, 6, 7, I'll go. But even with last night, I went up over 1 percentage point on my year-over-year growth. I'm at 296.9%, so about 297% year-over-year growth. So I'd like to get to 310% by the end of the month. For the whole year, go 310% year-over-year growth. But that's kind of my stretch goal. Realistic goal is 301%. I am reading the chats. I'm not sending a StreamYard link. So that's good. We'll see what the weekend brings. It always, it kind of what happens with my numbers, since I don't go live on Mondays and Tuesdays, and then Wednesday, Thursdays are lesser than the weekends, props it up, and then boom, probably by Monday morning, all of a sudden it's 310% or whatever, and then I don't go live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday's kind of a dud. It drops. All right, so hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't be a loser, like Milad says. He says, "Fuck off, Gem City. Fuck off, Mila." Join me tonight, 8 o'clock Central on eBay Live. Have a great Friday, and we'll see you tonight on eBay Live.